So hi everyone and welcome to another new video. Today we'll be talking more about Gradle, which is the continuation of our previous initial talk about why we needed Gradle. And today let's take a look and see how we can get started with a Gradle project, and that too by using the command line and not using any IDE. We have Praful with us. Hi Praful.
Yeah, hi Kenny. I'm excited to learn Gradle with you because I am a Maven person.
Yeah, let's see if we can find what are interesting about Gradle versus Maven also along that process, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So in order to get started with Gradle, you can just search for Gradle and it will give you the main web page. There you can see you have the option to install, and then there are getting started guides and free training. So from here, I would go to the install page. So here you can see the installation page, and you can find something like how to do it for Windows or for Linux and Mac.
I think the
So I have not done
prerequisite
it
is
that.
like, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, Profile, go on.
I think the prerequisite is Java we need to install if not already installed.
Yeah, I guess Java, yes. Java should be in the path also, I'm assuming.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, because this is to
Yeah,
build the Java Debian based project, so Java must be needed, right?
yes. So you'll have, I have installed Java, but I'm assuming that you, you guys can also figure out how to install that.
Yeah, no problem. That is.
Sure. Yeah. So that's a good question. Actually, I just forgot about Java.
No issue.
Yeah. So yes, so you can just come to the instructions and figure out how to install it. Or if you have already used any like IntelliJ IDEA or Android Studio to open any existing Gradle projects, it would have automatically installed a version of Gradle in your home directory. So for me, I already have that installed, so I will just reuse one of those Gradle versions. And then once we come to how to build the application, that is also from this main page, the getting started guide, you can find the Kotlin application sample. So essentially we will be working on this particular guide. So coming to this, I will open my bash terminal. So I will be using the Gradle command. So that is in this particular location. Like I was telling earlier, it looks very crazy. Okay, so this is the Gradle executable name, and it is in this huge location. But it's not something I'm remembering, or whatever I'm remembering is, okay, this is my home folder up to C users Kenny, and then in that there is a .gradle folder. So what happens is wherever you are installing a project or you are setting up any existing project, Gradle will automatically download that corresponding version. So here it is 7.1. There will be other version like 3 or 4 or 5 based on that. So based on the project structure, it will automatically download and it will put everything in this common location. So here I have it in this location, and I'm using 7.1, which is I think one of the latest version. And what happens is if you have another project with 7.1, it will reuse the same Gradle binary rather than downloading again. So it makes use of reuses that same thing. So I will be using this binary to go ahead and create. But first, let us create a folder. So here I am using the makedir command, which is to create a directory or a folder. So I'm creating a folder with the name Gradle underscore sample. Then we can change into that by using the cd command. So now we are in an empty folder. So here there is nothing in this folder. And we will start by looking at that document. So yes, they are saying the same thing. So create a folder and then cd into that folder. So that is the first step. Then coming, they are telling us to run the init task. So I'll come back to the terminal. So this is my Gradle, and then I'm running the init task. So
But
if you
if
have
you have
installed,
one, you can set it as a path, right? Like the Gradle can
yes,
be
yes,
set on a path, so you don't need to type the entire location.
yes. So yeah, if you are doing the other way, like it's proper install, you will probably add it to the path. So then you will be able to just type Gradle, right? For me, it is saying not found because I have not added it to the path. So coming, yeah. So now we have the Gradle, and then we are saying Gradle space init. So first thing it asks us is what kind of project we want to generate. So there are basic application library and Gradle plugin. So the basic what I understand is like it won't set up a default Hello World application for you. You will have to figure out how to configure it. For most people, I am guessing that the second option, which is application, would be the appropriate one because it will generate a command line application that you can run through Gradle. And the third option is to create a library, which is like for advanced cases where you want to reuse certain pieces of code, you'll be using the library. And the fourth is to create a Gradle plugin, which is to enhance the functionality that Gradle already provides. Is this something that, Praful, that you are familiar with in any other tools?
Actually, different tool provide different setup option parameter. I don't pay that much attention to it, Kenny. But it makes sense. So they categorize it to four. Basic is the bare bone, it seems. And application is a place to have some boilerplate code just to get started quickly, I believe.
Exactly. And most of the cases, it is just giving you some sample project structure also, so that you can just get started immediately, right?
Yep.
So yes, so coming to this article, they are saying we should start with the second option, which is application. So we will go with the second option. Okay, some things happen and then it's giving us a next option. So select the language. So in our case, we are looking for Kotlin. So we'll give 4.
Oh,
And
what
I
is all
think
that
these other
executing?
languages. I think it is, so it's supposed to show like a progress bar, but in my terminal, I think because I've zoomed it up, it is not able to figure out. It is supposed to be like a progress bar. I think we will see it in, once we start with VS Code, we will be able to see that progress bar going.
No issue.
Yeah. So I think Gradle is not specific only for Java or Kotlin projects, but they are also providing C++ option and Swift also. So I think it is more like a generic build tool also it can be used.
Apart from C++ and Swift, all other are JVM based, like Groovy,
Yes,
Kotlin,
yes,
Scala.
yes.
They are all different syntax to Java, but end of the day they run in JVM.
Exactly. So in this case, we'll go for Kotlin. Okay, again, a lot of executing happened. And then it is asking split the functionality across multiple sub projects. So for our case, I think the simple one, that is only one application project is required. But if you have like an application project and then you have some shared code that you wish to make as a library, you can give the second option. It will automatically create one shared module within that same project. We'll just take a look at what the documentation says. Okay, here they don't have that mentioned at all. So we'll just continue with that first option. Yeah, and then it is asking what we want that build script DSL to be. So this build for Gradle, we have the build.gradle file, which has all the configuration for setting up the project. And so from that, we can have a build.gradle, which is written in Groovy, or we can have a build.gradle.kts, which is a Kotlin way of setting it up. So here, I think for me, I'm used to Groovy, so we'll just go with the Groovy one. But the Kotlin one also looks kind of familiar. I just haven't jumped into it. So that is, I think, the newer way of doing it. And I think, Praful, you have worked in XML for Maven, is it?
Yes. There is a pom.xml, quite famous for the Java developers.
Okay. Is it like the happy place or the nightmare place?
No, because people who started with the ent build script, it is much better. It's Maven. Your ent was horrible.
Okay.
It is more complicated, but Maven was not very complicated, I would say.
Okay. Okay. So it's asking for a project name now. So we'll just give the default, which is Gradle sample. Source package also we'll give the default. So yeah, okay. So it has completed that initialization and it is successful. So I think we have our project set up already. So let us try opening it in VS Code. So I'm just running the code dot. So now we have the entire structure in VS Code. And
so Kotlin
yeah,
development in the VS Code.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a good change to see. VS Code does not do all the things that IntelliJ would do. So in that way, it is like a little more a raw experience where you can actually experience what is happening under the hood. So that is the goal that we're going for. So if we come back to the article, I think, yeah, they are mentioning about the different file structure and all the, they have done a good job of explaining all the different parts of this. But let us just kind of continue. We can see that there is an option to run. We'll just run that first, and then we'll look at the structure for the project. So they're saying there's a /gradle w run.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So /gradle w. So that is, I think, this file, and then we give on run. So here that executing you saw again, it came quickly, but if I run once more, that executing came and went. So that kind of progress bar is the one that we earlier saw like a huge thing.
Yeah, it is quite faster. The Java build compile running and it is quite fast.
Are you saying like compared to the previous time, is it faster?
Not even previous time, even first time also it is just 1 second. So it is quite faster both the time.
Yeah, we can maybe try here also. We can W run. Okay, same output itself. It's giving that. Okay. Yeah. So coming to the structure, Praful, do you want to like ask me what to look at and how you want to take it forward?
Yeah, I can continue on that. Like maybe that start with .gradle project. I think it is created by Gradle. So that is fast folder.
This folder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this I'm actually not sure what it is, but it is, I think, doing that 7.1, like the version that we are having, right? It is having some kind of a cache or some kind of things that are associated with that particular Gradle build.
But we should ignore it,
other
right? We should not, if you try to commit into Git or SVN, we should not commit that .gradle file, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it is saying it is a cache directory. So it is there in the git ignore file.
So we should not look into that and got worried about this .gradle directory at all. Or we should have to look into anything.
No. We don't need to look at it. It's like a generated thing.
Okay. So where the configuration is it in settings.gradle?
Yeah. So what happens is in this settings.gradle, this is a very simple configuration. Settings.gradle is like your project main settings kind of a thing. So it is essential for any Gradle project, and it gives us the main project name. Here in this case, it is Gradle_sample. And in this VS Code, we can see that Gradle_sample is there. IntelliJ also will show this as a title for that project. And then we are saying we are including this app. So it is nothing but this folder here that is coming as a module structure. So this is a independent module. And how it is a module is because we are including here, and it also has a build.gradle for its settings. So you can assume it is like a separate Node.js project or something like that, which is independent. Okay.
There are so many confusing directory. Build is appearing 2 times, one under app and one under the directly.
I think this is also supposed to be ignored. So this git ignore is saying you should ignore it. Maybe we'll just try deleting it and yeah. So this, I think app specific build will come inside this build. and app specific source is coming inside this source.
So only app directory we should be more concentrate on, and then the setting.gradle.
Yeah, so most of the cases, yeah, you can ignore all this, but I'll just give a quick outline about what the Gradle specific files are. Then we'll jump into the app part.
Yeah, that would be better because it is fast time, so I'm a bit confused. So you can give a brief overview.
Got it. Yeah. So this settings.gradle is kind of like our root settings thing, and we are saying we want to include that app as a module. So that is essential. If we are creating some other library also in this folder structure, then we have
sorry to interrupt you, Kenny. Because in the Java world, I don't remember there is any concept of module. Why you are still calling app as a module?
Okay, I think in the Gradle way of doing things, everything is kind of like a module. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but whatever we are giving in this Gradle, which is a sub kind of a build independently. So this app can be built in parallel if we have other libraries also. Whatever happens is if we have, say, some kind of a common library, which is giving some functionality for our app. So that time, this app and the common can be built in parallel also, because there is a not necessarily parallel, but if there are a lot of modules which depend on each other, but some can be done in parallel. That way, it will decrease the build time, will increase the speed of build. So that way is how I have understood it. That everything is like a module, and you keep on including more modules as you keep on having other code bases within this.
Okay.
But by default, we will have the app module, which has all of our things, which is like the simplest way to do it. But if we have other shared thing, we can have that.
Okay.
And here there is a Gradle W and Gradle W.bat, and there is a Gradle wrapper folder. So what is happening is, so whenever you're cloning this application for the first time, what this gives you, these are also version controlled. We are not ignoring it. So this is just a way for us to kickstart the Gradle process. So for the first time, if you are downloading this and you don't have any Gradle installed, this will give us a quick script. So it is like a batch script. It will use this Gradle wrapper, and it will look at the properties file. So it tells us which distribution it is. So here it is 7.1. So it will check, does this already exist in the user's home directory? So that I think is this distribution base and zip store base, which is essentially what we saw in this when we were doing the init. See this entire thing. So it is checking, does this 7.1 version exist? Right. And if that 7.1 version doesn't exist, this jar will automatically download it. Otherwise, it will automatically invoke it. So in order to use this, we have this Gradle W and Gradle W.bat. On Windows, it uses this bat file. On Unix systems, it will use this Gradle W file. It's a shell script. This is something that you are familiar with, Praful. Have you heard of this before?
Not about Gradle, but I think Maven also, or most of the different builds have this kind of shell script just to run the build.
Got it.
Maven also has MB and W or something like that.
Okay. So I think it is a very, very nice way that we can have multiple version of Gradle also, all installed at the same time. But in case of NPM, I think for node projects, we have to we have to do some other work to have multiple node versions. So this, I think, makes it a lot easier. Okay, so that is it for the Gradle part of things, I guess. Let's take a look at the app and app build.gradle. So this is the build.gradle, and like there are a lot of things here, but it's not that complicated.
So the this file I'm looking for. Actually, I was a bit confused between settings.gradle and build.gradle, because settings.gradle, I think we don't need to change again. I think this build.gradle is where the most of the action will happen. If I want to add
Yes.
any dependency like MySQL or, any REST API, then I have to add here
Yes.
in the dependency, right?
Yes. So this is the project or this module specific dependencies
Yeah,
or,
can you
the
just
build script.
comment out, close this command prompt? I think that's not needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I can make it full screen also. Yeah. So is the font okay, or maybe I'll just try to increase a
No,
little?
no, it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. Yeah. So here in this section, we are telling the plugins for this build, and that is like Gradle plugins that are that we need to use for this build. So this ID that we're saying is Kotlin JVM is Kotlin support for the JVM. So we need Kotlin for building this project. So we need the Kotlin plugin. And we also need this application plugin, which is another Gradle plugin, which is for building this CLI application in Java. So what the plugin does, it gives us some already predefined Gradle task. For example, we did the Gradle run already. So that is already coming from the application plugin, and it automatically does the build and also executes that. Have you say, is there something similar in the Maven program?
Yes, Maven also plugin architecture is exactly same thing is there, but different syntax. But one thing I get confused here, Kenny, this is doesn't look like a JSON file or not even any programming language or XML or anything like that. What is this format is all about? I can see like .gradle. Is it Gradle come up with a new syntax like curly bracket ID and you have string, then version, then string? Syntax
Yeah.
feels a little bit off to me.
Yeah. So when we were creating this project in that prompt itself, we had a step in between. I think the last step. So what it asked us is coming to this document. So they ask what is the build script DSL. So what we chose was Groovy. So this actually is a Groovy syntax, and other option is to have Kotlin. So that these two are the options that we have for the syntax. So default build.gradle file is with Groovy, but for Kotlin we will have build.gradle.kts as the extension. So these are the two options.
Because we are building Kotlin project, but next time we can try how to in Kotlin build XML.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually looks pretty same. Just that for me, what I've noticed it is like there's some things will be like function call. Like in this implementation, it might be like you give the bracket and then that way it does it, right? So that is something that I have noticed, which is a difference. But other than that, I feel it is mostly the same. But since I was not very familiar with it, I just went for this.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
So yeah. So that is the plugin section, which is telling what all Gradle plugin we want to use. And each plugin will give us some default Gradle task, which is optimized for working on the project. Then we have the repository section, which I think will sound familiar to you because it is using Maven as the repository and not any Gradle repository.
So I have not seen you have installed that Maven. Do you need to install Maven separately or it is not needed?
I do not even know the answer to that because it already works.
Okay. Maybe it
Are
is
you
not
talking
needed.
about are you talking about a Maven local kind of a repository?
Yeah, Maven, because the way you have installed Gradle, right? Same thing, there are a few steps to install Maven client.
Okay, so I have not done anything. Maybe Gradle is automatically doing it.
Or may not be needed also. They're simply using that remote repository, not the local one.
Yeah, I think there is an option to add like Maven local also in this. So that is, I think, what you're saying, right?
Okay, yeah. Maybe we'll slowly get into know that I can relate.
Yeah, maybe next time we will try with the Maven local. Yeah. And then here in the dependency section is the main part where you want to add your dependencies. So in this example, they have given some default dependencies, but if there are any Maven dependencies or some other external library like open source library that you find on GitHub, what they will do is they will tell you to put their dependency name and probably the version number here. So that time, next time Gradle is building, it will automatically download the dependency and have it ready for your project.
But these are the version you not specify anywhere. Only in the Guava you specified like 30.1, I believe. In the rest of the places.
This I'm not sure why this default one is giving like this. But maybe there is some reason for it. Maybe this this version maybe covers up for all of this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But usually in Android projects, we usually have the correct version number for each of the library given. So that way, this is new for me also.
So it is separated by colon. I think in the Guava, the first is project ID, then that artifact ID, then the version number.
Yeah, the same process that you already are familiar with in the Maven terms, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that way. Then here we have specified that we want an application, so command line application. So that plugin is expecting that application block. And we are saying the main class is Gradle_sample.appkt. So this is just a way of saying that our main, so rather than having I don't know how do you call default class in Java project, Prabhu? Is there some convention?
There is a main program, public class with the main program. Public class, you can write it. You have to implement the main program, then that would be will run if you run the CLI.
Got it. So here we are just telling which is the main program, appkt. So I think we will take a look at that source. So yes, that is that package name essentially. So the Gradle_sample and then appkt. So that is how they have defined it. So yes, this is part of the Gradle sample package. And we have a class. And in main, we are just calling that class and then .greeting. So
why the main function is outside the app class? Usually it should be part of the app class in Java.
Yeah, that is how Java takes it. But Kotlin, you can have functions outside also. So you don't need to have an object specifically. So it's
and
a different.
You have not used new as well.
Yeah, that is a different syntax. So we don't use new in Kotlin. We just call that class name. Give the parentheses.
Yeah, I think we have to continue that Kotlin class.
Yeah, we'll have to learn a lot more about Kotlin.
Because the class and other thing we have not discussed there.
Definitely, yeah. Object and all that stuff we have to discuss, yeah. So that essentially is it about, creating a sample project from the command line. And we saw already that we can run using Gradle W. So this Gradle W is here, this one. And then we're doing the run command. And I think if you want to see all the commands, I think tasks you can do. Yeah, so it will give you a list of all the tasks that are available. And these are coming from the plugin that we've already mentioned in the build.gradle. So this plugin that we have given, it is adding these tasks. So we can
most of the time you're going to use only one or two, I think, build and run.
Definitely. And if you want to create a jar or something, yeah, you'll have to use the jar class, like task. That way. So I think, yeah, that is like a quick introduction to how this works. Now you can anyone can add their own classes and create a full project, and then that is how you continue with this.
So any thoughts, following this, you can develop the Kotlin in the VS Code.
Yeah. And I think I have added a few plugins. Let me see if I can pull it up. So there's a Kotlin plugin. This is for code completion, debugging, and all that. Then there is a language support. I think this is also for the autocomplete and all that stuff, and also understanding. I think that syntax also. Then there is a Gradle thing. So here also I have a Gradle option. So it will show me all the options that we have already. But I don't really use this. I prefer to understand like from the command line side how it is working. I just installed it for just getting started. Yeah, anything else to add, Praful?
Yeah, sounds interesting. Like build.gradle. I'm not seeing it is more or conceptually same as Maven only, but a bit of different syntax.
Yeah. I also don't know if there is any other major differences that Gradle is bringing. Might be something, I don't know.
Yeah, but sounds good. Good to learn, because in any project you don't know which other thing they're using. Maybe Maven and Gradle. So
yeah,
anything they use, you have to adapt yourself to
yes.
their requirement. So better to have knowledge in both Maven and Gradle. So it is a good start.
Great. So then that is it for this video. We'll see you again in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.